We continue our exploration of the Indonesian islands as we make our way to Lombok. It's also time to face the mafia and their childlike henchmen.
Keep Your Wings, le podcast.
Chapter 4. Gangsters in Short Pants. We finally arrive on Lombok after many hours of crossing by ferry. We were exhausted and jumped at the first taxi offer that came our way. The driver wanted to take us for a reasonable price to Mataram, the administrative capital. Over 3 hours on the road to cover barely 30 kilometers. Indonesia and its traffic, it's truly one of the most maddening I've ever witnessed. Vietnam was chaotic, but a certain logic prevailed there. On Lombok, it's true anarchy, and the narrow roads are saturated on all sides. We had several things planned for Lombok and its surrounding. Exploring, snorkeling for me, diving for Nico and Thibaut, enjoying ourselves a bit, and most importantly, renewing our visas for another month. A tedious formality mainly implemented to prevent too many tourists from doing it. Processing time depending on your face, small offices refusing to participate in the procedure, multiple round trips. In short, we were lucky. It only took us 1 week to obtain this famous extension. To celebrate, we headed to Kuta, not to be confused with Kuta in Bali, which is a paradise of bad taste, counterfeit clothes, loud music, not always exceptional restaurant, and alcoholic cocktail cut with either. However, although it's not the same place, the people that are attracted to come here seems to be the same. The backpackers seeking parties, pure waves, drugs, alcohol, and beach parties. Fortunately, there are no oversized clubs with megawatts blaring everywhere, but small bars with music. Luckily, Kuta Lombok is much more charm and is also quieter. The first bar we found embodies every possible cliché. A bit of a hippie vibe, shimmering colors, hyper-sexualized cocktail names, and the timeless Wonderwall by Oasis in a reggae version. Oh, can you resist so much good taste? We decided to go for a drink there anyway. We didn't really have a lot of choice. It was one of the only places open in the city at night. It is actually surprising to be able to order beer so easily during Ramadan. But we are in a very touristy area. The only difference, as on the Gili Island, Trawangan in particular, the one known for partying, is that the bars close earlier than usual. Generally, shortly before midnight, the music fades and eventually stops completely. People are then forced to move to other after parties or find local practicing selling under the counter for other drugs and late night antics. "Let's go take mushroom on the beach" is a classic you'll hear on every street corner. While we were in this bar, a racket echoed outside. Old car with large trailer attached stopped at the same moment. A dozen children rushed out, their arms laden with plastic bags. In total, nearly 20 kids were dropped off in the town with one sole objective: to sell bracelets. From cafe to cafe, restaurant to restaurant, and beach to beach, they try every means to sell their trinkets, which you can see in the local shops and other tourist traps. The only difference here is the organized and unwholesome side emanating from such an initiative. The children start conversation and know exactly what to say and to do to make you buy their bracelet. However, at the end of the day, it's unlikely that this money goes back to them.
"Hello, will you buy me a bracelet? It's super beautiful. You can even buy some for your family and your friends. They will love them. How many do you want? 4? 5?
Recited the 7-8-year-old boy mechanically as he reached our table. He placed 2 bracelets in front of me and 4 more in front of my 2 friends. "We're not interested, thank you anyway," I replied. The kid pretended to go elsewhere, but it mainly looked like he was leaving the cafe to ask for advice. When he came back, he tried another, much more aggressive approach.
I need you to buy this bracelet so I can go to school."
"And where do you go to school?"
Nico asked, knowing full well that access to education is not easy in the region.
"Here,
He declared evasively.
I need the money to buy books. My mother doesn't know and she's sick too. I have lots of brothers and sisters, so we need the money. So, are you buying?"
I really didn't know how to react. I was torn between the scam itself and this kid who is also a victim of it. I hardened my soft heart and replied, "No, sorry, we don't want this bracelet."
How old are you?
The kid shot at me with a mischievous smile.
You really look old. You're cheap and a old man.
I didn't even respond and started to ignore him. Thibaut asked him to leave again, but he, in turn, was invaded against like dirt. This shaming took a very unpleasant turn and became deliberately mean. The kid ran the show and wasn't afraid to blurt out the worst nastiness. "We get it," I replied, raising my voice. But we're not buying anything. Now get lost. The atmosphere in the bar became strange. The kid eventually let us go to bother other backpackers. But then, another one showed up at our table. The bracelet mafia had planned everything and initiated this tussle with us via their young sellers. It was a battle of attrition between these overexcited kids and the backpackers devoid of compassion. It was only after a good hour that the children were finally collected and disappeared into the dark night. Except that this was not a school pickup, but a lift to another bar or restaurant. And the children were not the only ones. I remember seeing vendors being dropped off scooter near tourist spot. It truly is organized crime. Something in this town is not right. And what about the war between taxi drivers and Uber Grab drivers, similar to the Gojek application in Vietnam? The taxi have taken over Lombok and prohibit rival drivers from accessing the town.
Can you go outside the center and meet me at the spot? Access to the town is forbidden for me. They might vandalize my vehicle.
To avoid trouble and paying the high price, we found ourselves walking outside the city center while dodging the incessant offers from taxi driver on our way.
You took it rather, didn't you?
One of them angrily asked. We tried to ignore them to avoid further problems. This experience in Lombok was not as magical as it could have been, mainly due to the mafioso side felt in town. You don't have to be a genius to realize that there are implicit rules, codes, and people who hold power here. During our trip, this was one of the only Indonesian cities where we felt so much shady dealing around us.